Ever wondered how an empire the size of ancient Rome, stretching from Britain to the Middle East, actually managed to hold it all together? Was it just the legions, the roads, and the aqueducts? Well, yes. But there's a hidden power, a silent conqueror that's often overlooked. Their money. This isn't just a story about old coins. This is the story of how Rome pioneered a financial system so advanced it became their ultimate weapon of control, a tool to build an empire and eventually a key to its spectacular fall. Welcome to Pharaoh Fund, where we decode the economics of history. Today, we are diving deep into the Roman treasury to uncover how they used money to rule the ancient world. It all starts with a single silver coin, the denarius. Before Rome, the ancient world was a messy patchwork of different currencies. Imagine trying to trade across the Mediterranean when every city had its own coins with different weights and values. It was a logistical nightmare. Rome's genius was in standardization. They established the denarius as the dominant currency across their vast territories. Suddenly, a merchant in Spain could use the same. This wasn't just convenient. It was a revolution. It slashed transaction costs, supercharged trade, and integrated diverse economies into a single, massive Roman marketplace. By controlling the money, Rome wasn't just conquering lands. They were creating a unified economic zone where all roads and all money led back to Rome. This monetary union made provinces dependent on the Roman economic system, binding them to the empire more effectively than any army could. But how did they get everyone to use their money? Simple. Taxes. Rome was a master of taxation. Every province, every city, every individual under Roman rule had to pay tribute, and they demanded it be paid in Roman currency. This created a constant, empire-wide demand for denarii. Local farmers who grew wheat or olives couldn't pay their taxes with their produce. They had to sell their goods for Roman coins first. This forced everyone, from the Gallic chieftain to the Egyptian farmer, to participate in the Roman monetary economy. It was a brilliant strategy. It not only funded the state, but also cemented the denarius as the essential medium of exchange. The Roman taxman was more than just a collector. He was an agent of economic integration, pulling every corner of the empire into Rome's financial orbit. Now, let's talk about the engine that ran the empire, the Roman legions. A soldier's loyalty wasn't just to the eagle standard, it was to the promise of consistent pay. Rome maintained a massive, professional standing army, a feat unheard of for its time, and these soldiers were paid on schedule, in freshly minted Roman coins. This regular payroll was a massive economic stimulus. Soldiers spent their salaries in local markets wherever they were stationed, from the chilly frontiers of Britain to the desert outposts of North Africa. This injected a steady flow of cash into provincial economies, creating new markets and opportunities. Furthermore, the army was a career. After 25 years of service, a legionary was rewarded with a plot of land or a significant cash bonus. This pension scheme not only ensured the loyalty of veterans, but also turned them into established, land-owning citizens who had a personal stake in the empire's stability. The army wasn't just a military force. It was a powerful economic tool for spreading Roman currency and culture. Rome's financial prowess wasn't just about collecting and spending. They were pioneers in large-scale infrastructure investment. Think of the famous Roman roads, the aqueducts, the ports, and the public buildings. These weren't just vanity projects. They were calculated economic investments. The vast network of roads, over 80,000 kilometers of them, was the circulatory system of the empire. They allowed goods, armies, and information to move at unprecedented speeds. This drastically lowered transportation costs, making long-distance trade more profitable and connecting inland producers with coastal markets. Aqueducts supplied cities with fresh water, enabling them to grow into bustling centers of commerce and industry. These massive public works projects were funded by the state treasury and created jobs, stimulated local economies, and most importantly, physically integrated the empire. Every new road and every new bridge was another artery pumping Roman economic life into a new region, making the empire richer and more interconnected. However, the same financial tools that built the empire also contained the seeds of its destruction. As the empire grew, so did its expenses. The military, the bureaucracy, the public works, it all cost a fortune. By the 3rd century AD, emperors found themselves in a tight spot. They needed more money, but they couldn't just keep raising taxes without causing rebellions. So, they turned to a trick that governments have used ever since: debasement. They started mixing cheaper metals like copper into their silver coins. A denarius that was once nearly pure silver slowly became a silver-plated piece of bronze. At first, nobody noticed, but soon, people realized their money wasn't worth what it used to be. This led to rampant inflation. Prices for everyday goods skyrocketed. People lost faith in the currency. They started hoarding old, pure silver coins and reverted to bartering. The sophisticated, monetized economy that Rome had built began to unravel. The collapse of the currency had a domino effect. With runaway inflation, the state could no longer afford to pay its soldiers a living wage. Army morale plummeted, and loyalty frayed. Soldiers began to support whichever general promised them the most loot, leading to a century of civil wars and political instability. The breakdown of trade routes meant that the specialized, interconnected economy collapsed. Regions became isolated and self-sufficient, a reversal of the integration Rome had worked so hard to build. The complex financial system that had been Rome's greatest strength became its greatest weakness. The debasement of the denarius wasn't just an economic crisis. It was a social and political catastrophe that eroded the very foundations of Roman power. It's a powerful lesson from history. A strong economy requires sound money. So, the story of Rome is more than just a tale of generals and emperors. It's a financial epic. They showed the world how a standardized currency could unite diverse peoples, how taxation could drive economic integration, and how state spending could build not just roads, but an entire civilization. They created the first true globalized economy of the ancient world. But they also provided a chilling cautionary tale about what happens when faith in money is lost. The rise and fall of the denarius mirrors the rise and fall of Rome itself. It teaches us that the strength of a nation is inextricably linked to the strength and integrity of its currency. Understanding Rome's economic genius and its fatal financial flaws gives us a powerful lens to view our own modern world. Thank you for joining us on Pharaoh Fund. If you found this journey into the economics of the Roman Empire fascinating, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the financial secrets of history. Let us know in the comments which historical economy you'd like us to explore next. See you in the next video.